Andrew. He started last time.
Yeah, Jonathan already started. He already stole my
Andrew's
thunder.
got this cool start that he's gonna do.
Oh, I just want to try it out and see if it works. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was funny.
Well, we'll be the judge of that. Go for it.
All right, boys, let's roll.
Welcome to the Friend of Sinners podcast. I'm Andrew, and I got my friend Jonathan and Josh here today. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about August 8th, 2024. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong date. Well, we're talking about dating, all right? A different type of date. See?
Terrible.
I knew you guys would like that one. I knew you would like that one.
I thought you messed up your words.
I did too.
I thought it was good.
That's good.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah, so we're just gonna roll with that. Yeah, so today we're just gonna talk just casually about just dating life in general or dating. I find this pretty interesting because we have all three of us are in different stages of that. Jonathan here is
Not dating anymore.
I'm not dating.
He just has an ex.
he's out of the dating game. He's been out of the dating game for how many years?
Just an ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually just celebrated 12 years married.
No way.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, that lady just jumped in when you were talking.
What late?
I don't know. You, me, and my dad were talking, and then she was like runs up and hugs you.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, hi.
yeah. Yeah, 12 years married,
Nice,
and
congrats.
so 16 or 17 together. So we
Jeez.
dated for like 4 years.
Okay.
It's a long time.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
a long time. Josh here is dating.
Yes.
Currently.
We are at 2 months and a week.
Uh-oh. She's going to hear this and be like, it's 2 months and 14 days.
It's 8 days.
8 days.
Well, by the time it comes
Wow.
out.
Well, it was easy. It's June 1st. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's easy dating.
I know.
Yeah, and for me, I've been perpetually
He's
single.
single.
He's
You're looking.
ready to mingle.
For-
Right there,
For a
ladies.
good amount of years. I think like 6 or 7. It's been some time. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah, so we're at very different stages of our life. Anyways, I thought that'd be pretty interesting. Got a couple little different perspectives in on it. And so, yeah, we're just going to just quickly hit the topic of dating. Josh.
I'm just so
No, just going to
excited
you
for
both.
what you're going to say next.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. So, do you see dating as well, Jonathan? I know you're past that, but like, do you see dating as a serious thing, or do you see it as a fun adventure / like just kind of explore? Like when you guys look at dating, or rather, I guess when you are, because you already kind of done that. But like, did you see it as something that like, hey, this is just a process to get married, or did you see this as a chance to just get to know someone and have fun and I don't know, discover?
I don't think I thought that way back then.
Mhm.
It was just like, I like this girl and I want to date her, and this is a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. This
Yeah.
is great. Our friends are friends, all that good
Mhm.
stuff. But I would say, looking back now, I would say that it should be more than that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna date, which this is like totally against the grain of the world and everything. But as Christians, I do think it's, the reason you're gonna date someone is because you would like to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to them, but you're gonna date to find out.
Yeah.
Maybe
to find
this
out.
is the one I would like to be married to.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a serious thing. I think relationships are serious. So yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. Go for it, Josh.
I think it's a bit of both, just in the fact that it should be fun.
Yeah,
I think.
totally.
Mhm.
But there's an intention behind it. So I don't think you should date someone because you're like, hey, they seem fun, and that's it. I think you need to have the mindset of marriage or an end goal. Because
Okay.
I'm reading a book by Jonathan Pokluda right now, and I can't remember the name.
JP.
And it's about dating, and it really annoys me that I'm not thinking of it. I'll think of it later. But
Yeah.
Outdated. Thank you
Look
from
at
the
that.
back.
You, Matt.
Our resource guy right
Outdated by Jonathan Pokluda. Really good. It's about Christian dating.
Mm-hmm.
And I just read the part where it's like, dating, there are two outcomes. That is it. There is breaking up, getting married. So if you have a mindset of, I'm just dating to kind of figure things out, but I'm not looking for marriage, you should start out by saying, hey, just to set expectations, I'm going to use you to have fun, and I'm going to break you up with you at the end of this. Just so we kind of clear the air and make you know that.
Pretty flat.
Because if you
Pretty
are
black
not
and white.
looking for marriage, you are not ready for it right now, or you just don't want to get married, that is what you're going to do. You will break up. And so they should know that, because unless they're also just wanting to break up with you, they might have it in their head that they want to get married to you, and then that's you're leading them on and all that stuff. So
I think too, like what that speaks to is people don't move towards marriage, don't even talk marriage or whatever. They just date. And I think it's like what that is speaking to is commitment. Like, I like you enough to like date you, but not enough to commit to you.
But like, what if it's only like 4 weeks in? I mean,
yeah, that's the other thing that
like,
I do think.
That's what
some
I'm
of
saying.
this
Like,
can
there's
ride
some
on
of that,
it.
like, because if it's too serious, it's like, okay, I just started talking to you, and now we have to start planning the wedding date, and it's like, no, give it some time, find out if you like this person
Right.
or not. So that's why I'm kind of saying, like, what's that balance, or where like, should you just be strict to like, hey, after 1 month in, you better start planning a wedding date, or, you know, leave a little more fun time, exploration, find out if you like this person or not. I don't know.
you date to know if they are marriable. I
Marriageable?
guess.
Marriage
if they're
material?
marriageable. When you find out that they're not,
English is a hard
material.
language, guys.
you can enjoy getting to know them and enjoy finding out those things. You don't need to jump to the serious things, because if you know only the deep parts of someone's life, but you don't know their favorite color or their favorite coffee drink, like, does that count as knowing or knowing about? Like,
Oh.
so you still want to enjoy that time. If it's all serious, you're not gonna want to be just serious all the time. Because most people don't want just serious.
Yeah, no, if it was like 2 weeks in and she's coming to you and is like, so like, with all that serious stuff, I don't know. I think I think that should be the heart, but I don't necessarily think it needs to be like date one, like intense.
Yeah, because so when I look this stuff up, I listen to pastors, and like, I feel like most of them are just like, you better be getting ready to marry this person right away, and don't waste their time. And I'm just like, that kind of puts a lot of pressure on, doesn't it? Like, like it's like, okay, and then you have to like, the first person you talk to is the one you have to commit to. It feels like, you know, and it's, I don't know. So I'm just kind of like trying to just, again,
Yeah,
I'm perpetually single. Like, this is my issue. I
This is
guess.
your advertisement.
This is me advertise. And most people set up and make a Tinder profile. I'm just make a podcast.
Yeah,
To start a podcast to find me a
just
wife.
send them this.
Yeah, you know. But it's like, yeah, I'm just like trying to figure out like, where do you kind of draw the line? You know, what I don't know. I feel like some people get so serious and like don't leave any time to explore or have fun. And you should like somebody. But then there's other people who are like, oh, just have fun, talk to them, and know them for like 20 years, and then maybe you'll be ready to start considering marriage. And it's like, what?
I don't like you talked about commitment, and people don't want to get married because they don't want to commit. And there's so many people where they're like, no, I would never get married. That's like, I can't commit to that. And then you're like, but you have 2 kids together.
Right.
You're like, yeah, so I'm like, that's not a commitment. You
Yeah.
have children. And that one actually frustrates me a little bit. But just the idea that it's cowardly, I would say. I know that's a little bold.
No, but yeah, I think
But
you're onto
to say,
something
I
there.
want you until I don't, and whenever I feel like it, I'm just going to dump you. And that's really bad, and it gives zero stability or comfort in the relationship, because at any point, there's nothing keeping them there. Like, and people, they don't want to get married a lot of times because of they've seen divorce happen. They're like, divorce sucks. And I'm like, I agree. Divorce sucks. It shouldn't happen. But that means choose wisely, I guess.
Yeah, but especially like in our culture in America, it's like 50%. I know it's not really literally 50%, but most people
Roughly.
keep quoting 50% of marriages end in divorce, and it's like, when you hear crap like that, it's like, that sucks. That's terrible.
And
And
that's in and outside of the church.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the church isn't exempt. It's not like, hey, if you're in the church, it's like -2%. No.
Right.
Like it's with that along in that same batch.
But I'd say that has to do with people not knowing how to date. That's kind of the
Yeah.
premise of the outdated book.
Yeah. But it's also, I mean, again, it's there's a lot of nuance in it. There's different like age groups and a lot of people remarried, things like that. And so obviously it's a little skewed when if you get married 4 times, you're on that list as 4 marriages, you know? So I get it. Like that kind of skews the numbers a bit. And so like it's kind of scary. And you're talking about like commitment, and it's like when we see this, I feel like that kind of affects a lot of people's minds. Because I'm single, like it's like, do I want to get married when I have a feeling that it's like a coin flip that it succeeds or not?
It's not a coin flip if you're choosing
Right.
to not flip a coin over it. Are you going to flip a coin every day? Like, am I going to stay? Am I going to go? It's it's a choice that you're making. You're making a covenant with God and before everyone else at your wedding that you are going to stick it out through better, worse, sicker, poorer, all that jazz. That's a choice. It's not a flip.
Yeah.
But that's what you're looking for in dating. That's kind of the point. Is you are looking to
Right.
see, can I commit to never leaving this person?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're looking for in dating. That's the point.
And I would also hope, like, will this person commit to me?
Also finding that out.
I mean,
Right.
it's a comment. Like, no one gets married under a wedding day and thinks, yeah, I'm ready to get divorced. You know, like no one thinks about that when they're getting married. At least I don't know. I like to imagine you're to your wedding day. You're probably not thinking, hey, this is gonna last 8 months or like 4 years.
No.
You know, I think everyone has that intention, and so like it's obviously. I mean, that's another discussion like about the whole commitment thing, because I feel like that's a pretty key part. Because I think that's why we do get married. We want that commitment. Like, I think, Jonathan, it's awesome. You've been married for 12 years. I'm sure that's reassuring as hell. Like to like just know like you've got your wife and she's not going anywhere,
Yeah. No, it is.
and she knows the same thing for you. She knows you'll be there every single day.
Yeah.
You know.
So
Yeah.
how did you know while dating that she was the one that you wanted to marry?
Ooh, good question.
Because I loved her. No, because I did and I do love her.
So you just feel really lovey around her and she makes you feel good?
Well,
does that mean?
that certainly is part of it. But she also was following Jesus and a Christian, and we were heading in the same direction spiritually. And besides that, it's like all the other things of compatibility of, do we like similar things? Do we get along? Do we have fun? I always tell people, like, when they're getting married, you really better like this person. You might love them, but you really should like this person. I don't need another person on this earth. I could just be with her the rest of my life, and I will be totally happy and fine. Truly, genuinely, that's how I feel. Because I like her. When I'm not with her, I miss her. She's my best friend. She knows more about me than anyone else. I know more about her than anyone else. And we clicked.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's important, and it happens. I was a terrible boyfriend. I was not a good boyfriend. When we were first dating, she was at USF in Tampa, and we were down here in Venice, and I was still in high school, so I thought that was really cool that she was in college.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that part of your story.
But like,
Jonathan
I
got
didn't
riz.
go up there once to go like hang out with her or see her. She
Oh,
came
wow.
down here every single weekend. That's terrible.
But I
we
mean, you're in
still
high
joke
school. You
about it
didn't have your
now.
license back then, did you?
Oh no, I did.
Sean, man, this guy got riz.
Yeah.
You got a
It's
college
terrible.
girlfriend to come to you.
Terrible. Yeah,
I need some dating advice
Did
from
you
you.
ask why did you keep coming down?
she was coming down for me. But yeah, I wasn't. I don't think I dated very well.
Yeah.
But she stuck it out with me, thankfully, and We were dating for like 4 years, and honestly, my dad and I met halfway from my college and home and had coffee, and he basically said, "What are you waiting on?" And I was like, "Good point." We were still in college. But I was like, "Oh, I guess I can do that," you know? So just went for it. And we got married while we were in college, and here we are.
Such an awesome story.
So what advice to not be a terrible boyfriend?
Visit your girlfriend
You know,
occasionally.
well, you know what my dad did tell me, and again, I probably wasn't the best at this, and probably still have to work on this, being married. But he always said to me, treat her like fine china. China is that stuff that goes up in the whatever armoire, you know, that's basically not used but for one dinner a year, if that even, and it's fine, it'll break easy, it's fragile, it's pretty, it's all that stuff. And he basically said that's how you should treat her. You delicately, you care for her, and treat her like that.
See her once a year.
See her once a year. Take her to dinner once a year. Yes. But no, treat them well. Treat her well. Be interested in them. Take interest. Do all the chivalrous things that you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I'm curious.
The weird thing is I haven't thought. I don't think about this anymore.
Yeah.
Again, 'cause like you were saying, like I've just for 12 years now I've been married and will be married. I never think she's going to leave me. I never think I'm going to leave her. I never think about dating. So it's a little strange to think about.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I know when we use dating in a different context, do you still go on dates with her? Like you keep the kids at home and it's just you two somewhere nice, somewhere fancy or whatever.
Yeah, we do. We could be a whole lot better about it. We do have 4 kids, and it's a crazy season of our life, which maybe is an excuse, but we do. So
you can still do it. So even in marriage, you're still dating.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to go spend a night away next weekend.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. Just her and I.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep the kids away just so you
can
get your sanity for a little bit back together.
Yeah, you have to. You have to date your spouse for sure.
Yeah. No, I like that. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like as I like talk to older couples, some of them just like they get so comfortable with each other they just don't date each other anymore. You know, like they're no longer they just treat them like a roommate or like a sibling, and it's like, you know, you're not. I don't know. You're not taking them somewhere nice.
Yeah,
you know,
and we've had seasons of that before. Like we kind of call it like ships passing in the night. Like just kind of like she's doing her thing, I'm doing mine. We're so busy, whatever. And thankfully, we will recognize that and can communicate that with each other. That's a huge thing, communication, that us guys are terrible at for sure.
No, we're good at it.
Oh,
okay?
you're good at it.
No. I'm just saying, like, if they stop giving these cryptic messages, you know, like. We would understand, you know, it's so clear to us, like, how are you doing? I'm fine. Well, that means 2 very different things depending who said it. If you said it, you're fine. If she says it, you know you messed up.
Yeah.
But then you know.
This is just going to piss off every girl that's listening. Just to kind of go on to it, like a little bit of a different topic, just kind of curious, Jonathan. Or even you, Josh, you can answer after this. Do you believe that your wife is like the one? Like, do you feel like God put her and you both are like meant for each other, or do you feel like, hey, it could have been anyone, but this is who I'm sticking with? Like, do you believe like she's the one, she was meant for you, kind of?
Yeah.
In that sense.
Well, I believe like with all my heart in like the sovereignty and the providence of God. So in that sense, yes. He knew we'd be married. This was written in my story.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, yes. But to the other side, and yes, she's the one. She's the only one I want.
Yeah.
But I would also say, like, I don't really necessarily think that, like, there is one person in this 7 or whatever 8 billion populated Earth that is for you. No.
Okay, but then that's more what I want to specifically tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You will be attracted to somebody, anyone, and like who they are and what they're about, and they're a Christian and you are too, and so you could get married. You should get married, or maybe you shouldn't get married. So no, I don't believe there's one person. So good luck go finding them. No,
Yeah.
we met in high school. I started working where she was working. No,
I like that.
do you?
Just curious, do you think there's like the one, like
I think the one you end up with is the one, I guess. So
Yeah.
Same thing about the sovereignty. God knows exactly who you're going to be with. I know I've heard stories of people that have like, it was like God said that's the person you're going to marry, and I'm like, that would be nice. I want that.
I feel like if he did, he'd be like picking someone like, no, not that one, please.
Well, yeah, we might. But yeah, the one you commit to and make a covenant with, that's the one that's yours. So you stick with them.
Okay.
But to that, you know what I want to say is I feel like, for whatever reason, I don't know why I feel this way, but I do. In today's day and age, as an old man,
yeah.
I think people are so almost annoyingly picky and pick each other apart and do it fast. And what I mean is like pick each other apart fast. I just think that there's almost this like too much of a seriousness, too highly of expectations. I don't know. Does that make sense?
So you're saying we need to lower our standards?
Yes. No.
Like I need a
No,
like,
I'm not saying that at all. I'm
like
just saying
I need to look for someone who doesn't have that good of dental plans. I need to find someone who's probably
Are you a
uninsured.
woman? Yes. All right. Let's.
yeah.
Or like just there we go. Just
Yeah,
make it-
no, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm
No, but
making
I know
sense.
what you're talking about. Like I know like some people they'll talk
Like
about
hardly less and less people are getting married.
Mhm.
And maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. But maybe what attributes to some of that is like there's all these different options, and I'm not going to settle down until I find that they
perfect
match
one.
all of these things that I require. I don't know. I just think it's
No, I think that's fair enough. And gosh, I'm gonna sound like an old person, It's the social media.
Yeah.
But like that's a real thing. Like we have all the options. It used to be like, hey, you only knew like 4 girls in your lifetime who were near your age and that lived around your neighborhood. Pick out of those 4. Like so it used to be like you've only had such a limited option. Now it's Tinder, Bumble, and I can meet with any girl in Florida.
yeah.
Or outside
Would they
of
want-
Florida, anywhere.
Ooh, wow, that's big.
I kind of
You're
maybe,
thinking big right there.
Maybe I'm thinking too, like more so like within, like the Christian world and within the church. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the dating world within the church and among Christians has had this bar set of they need to be X, Y, and Z, and if they're not for me, and that rhymes.
Dang.
But no,
You were ready with that one.
no, I wasn't. It just
Yeah, that
that's
one
just-
loaded in the chamber and
yeah.
just waiting.
Does that make sense though? Do you
Yeah.
do you think that too or no?
I think
Matt says yes.
that they have to be. There's a standard, and I think you have to have standards, but you need to create your standards based on what God says the standard should be. So, do they actively pursue God? That there has to be a must. Do they?
Hold on. Let me just emphasize the word actively. I
Thank
feel
you,
like
yeah.
I feel like that's a word that's overlooked. It's like he went to a church once.
Yeah, it's not. They have a Bible verse on their Instagram, so they probably know Jesus.
Yeah.
There's a commitment there, pursuing God, and so you have to have your ground bases covered. So I think there's big things that you should not sway on, like your views on family, your views on God, your views on kids, like stuff like that. Like you have to have your foundation set, and you should be firm in those, I think. Then there's the things that can sway, like the whole stupid like 6 foot and taller thing that frustrates me because I'm not 6 foot, but
Ha! You under 6 footer.
that's a big thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
has to be.
Because is it on your app or whatever? It says like how tall you
Yeah,
are.
or to your face.
Well, also they'll
but-
just to your face.
Yeah,
But
and then you're
yeah,
I
sorry.
don't want to get into that.
What do you mean they'll ask you how tall are you?
No, they'll just look at you and be like,
Oh,
"You're
I
not
see.
6 foot."
I gotcha.
Yeah, and you're like, you're 3'5".
Yeah, you're
you
a
don't
leprechaun.
need that. Anyway, so that like they have to make this much money. There was a like little snippets of these interviews with women, and they were like, how much do you think your guy should make yearly and stuff? And they were saying, probably, I don't know, like 400,000 a year. I don't know. I could probably do like 100,000 a year. The average income is like 40 grand a year.
And depends which state you're in too.
The average.
It's lower in other
So-
states. Yeah.
Exactly. So that you need to drop that. Really, what I'm saying is you need to find your foundation, stick with those. And then if it's not based on God's word of what needs to be there, those ones can be moved and probably should be moved. So there's that. The other part I wanted to point out was I feel like oftentimes you were mentioned that in the church, and I think it goes there too, but the idea of cohabitation, which is living with your partner before marriage, technically the idea behind it is, well, we want to see if we're compatible. We want to see, like, can we live together and at work and stuff like that. But I feel like the heart behind that is you're looking for reasons for why it should fail. Like, I was having a conversation with a girl in my class once, and we were talking about this, and she's like, well, like, what if you're dating them and you find out, like, they snore, like, super loud or something like that? I'm like, if you're breaking up because they snore, that's a you problem. Like, if that's the biggest thing going on, and that actually frustrated me. But she's like, no, I'm just, like, giving an example. But
Yeah.
this is the fact remains. If you find something that you can only find living together, it means you probably haven't dated enough or asked the right questions in dating or what. Or it's just a stupid thing like that.
I feel like, and I didn't look up for that one specifically, like cohabitation, but I remember hearing how, like, often people who have been cohabitating before marriage has a higher risk of ending in
They do.
divorce.
Statistically,
So, like,
way
statistically,
higher.
like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And so it's like, I don't know, I just find that kind of interesting. It's like, you would think, hey, having this trial run would help you determine if this is a fit or not. But it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like you're cheapening, because it's like, then what's the point of getting married? If you've already lived together, like, what does marriage add if you already live together?
Nothing, because generally
Just
they
the
have the same
paper?
idea of divorce too.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Um,
We could just leave.
I think it'll take
it's just a
away
hard
from
time.
your marriage too.
Yeah, it just takes away that significance.
There's no value.
Yeah.
So.
I tell people too, like, all right, so whatever it is, 45, 50% is the divorce rate inside, outside the church. All right, you're living together. All right, I'm going to hand you this coin. And what this coin represents is another 25% odds of you guys getting divorced. So I want you to carry this around and just know that's yours. No one wants to carry around a thing that's going to bring you to 75% of a chance of divorce.
Yeah.
It just does it. It ups it.
Yeah. No, I think that's like a good, nice little image or example.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
You're saying cohabitating is the coin?
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Like, it can-
adding,
yeah, it's
adding
adding.
another 25% or whatever. There is a percentage to it.
Mhm.
And I think there's grace, I think there's grace for Christians living together.
Mhm.
And I think they can say to God, this is wrong, and I'm going to go live with my friend until we get married.
Yeah, no
And
one's
I
ever stuck. where they're
Yeah,
at.
yeah. And I think God honors that.
And he has. I mean, there's plenty of, like, you'll hear some of those stories where someone's like, before either they were saved or something like that, and God still blesses them in their marriage after they were saved or something. I don't know. Like, it's, hey, if this is in your life, it's determined you're going to break up or whatever. It's just, you're carrying that coin that's just adding, hey, this is kind of adding a risk to it,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, like, okay, so we're talking about, like, hey, all these kind of stats kind of put you down, and it kind of, I don't know, ups the divorce rate and stuff like that. Just curious, as I'm single, I'd like to remind all two
Wait,
of my viewers.
you're single?
Oh, no. Oh, really? No, so, like, I was just kind of, like, looking up some of the stuff, and I remember, like, you were kind of talking about earlier, hey, not a lot of people are marrying anymore. And I kind of forgot about how bad this stat was. Like, I'm pulling up through, and I think this is pure research. No shot. Oh, there it is. Okay. So of the single adults that were, surveyed, 57% of them are saying we're not looking for a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of single people, 57% of them are saying, hey, I don't want this. I don't even want to start. I don't even want to dabble with this. I think that's pretty crazy. Like, it literally jumped from like 47% a decade ago to now 57, like a whole 10%.
Not wanting even to like date someone.
Yeah, like this isn't even casual dating, because the other 43% or 42 point something percent is a mix between people who are looking for dating as just for fun, casually, or casually that could be into a committed relationship, or really committed relationship. So it's a mix of all those categories into that. But again, 57% just say none at all. Like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Are you a part of that?
No, I feel like for most of the time since I've been Christian, I'm vowed away from women. I'm done. But I'm kind of like God's like kind of like opening that door a little bit. It's like, at first I was just like, I just want to focus on other things. I just want to focus on my life. I'm selfish. I like my own time and independence, all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And now God's kind of like opening that door. It's like, marriage is not a bad thing. And to be fair, I mean, I have like this whole, like, I used to be kind of this black pill guy who's just like, marriage is going to end in divorce. Why bother doing it?
Mm.
But then I'm just like, man, why not be that good example? Why not just, it's still a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, hearing what you have to hear, like, that's awesome. I wish more people have something like that. Like, they can reliably trust in someone that's always going to be there. I'm like, that's awesome. I feel like that should be something more people should seek after.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was just kind of looking at some of those research, and I'm just like looking at that, and it's like, yeah, that's probably why a lot of people are not getting married anymore. It's because either A, they checked out of the game, and let alone the whole game of getting into relationships already difficult. Because again, you got people who are just wanting casual, not sure if they want completely serious, and then you got the serious people. So you've already got a mix between 42% of the other people who are single who are somewhere in that arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
I was like looking at some of the stats.
I would be so interested to understand. I want to ask them all, like, do a second series or questions of just them and be like, all right, why do you not want it? Because there's, I don't know if you can quote the verse about, some people are made eunuchs, some people choose to be eunuchs, and some people are born eunuchs.
Yeah.
And the made eunuchs is definitely the worst category. But some people are just, they are like very content, and they're like, I don't need to be married, and I'm very content with my relationship with God, and I don't need that. And Paul himself says it's better to be single if you can. If you can, if you can't, then get married.
Yeah.
And I feel like the church really, in general as a whole, pushes you got to get married. But
Right.
But if you are of that 57%, I would bet that there's a much smaller percentage of those people that are really content in their, I want to be single because I just feel really content with my relationship with God and want to go. I would say a lot of that is somebody has been hurt in some way by either seeing other people hurt, or they have a fear of it hurting or something like that. And so it's actually a thing that's holding them back from wanting it because they are scared that it could end badly. And so they're just like, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I would love to know what the idea.
I mean, there's a whole multitude, and we can definitely go more into that. But as far as what you're talking about, like that eunuch part, it's literally only like one verse out of the entire New Testament. Mm-hmm. So it's like, just imagine how small of a percentage of people. And he's like, and for those who are eunuchs by choice, like, like it's, Jesus is saying, like, there are some of you who are this. Mm-hmm. It's not even a common thing. He's like, this is just a small exception, or a small piece of that pie. So as you're right, like, yeah, a lot of us are single, but how many of us are actually content in that singleness? Sorry, I'm just jealous.
They say, like, of the choosing wisely part.
He is discontent with it. Ladies,
discontent. So. Didn't we have that shirt before, discontent?
We do.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But of the being content in your singleness. I think Travis said it is way so much better to be lonely and single than lonely and married. Like if you choose poorly, I think that's where like people do see like there is a great weight and significance in who you choose to marry. Like it is potentially a scary thought. Like after choosing to follow God, it's like the second biggest decision you're going to make in your life. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Nope.
So there's a weight
Buying
to
more
it.
Bitcoin. Biggest decision of my life.
You have to make it very. It's a good decision of is this the person I am choosing to do it? Can I do it? Will I do it? And then continuing to choose it. Right? Do you feel super lovey and stuff? Is it a feeling of your love for your wife that keeps you going, or is it a choice sometimes too?
No, I think it's both. I think Dietrich Bonhoeffer has this great quote about marriage, and he basically says that like I think it's made for wedding ceremonies, but he basically says from now on it's no longer your love that sustains the marriage, but the marriage that sustains the love. So in other words, your commitment to one another is going to sustain the love. The lovey-dovey goodness, googly-eyed thing is going to come and go. But your commitment, your agape, your love is going to sustain that. Your marriage covenant is going to sustain that to where you will see those rises again and googly-eyed. And so I think that's ultimate what marriage is about. In the covenant that you make before God and to each other. And it's ultimately to be a reflection of Christ in the church, that husbands are to love their wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her, and wives are to submit to their husbands as the church has to Christ. There should be a picture of that scene in a marriage, and that's a covenant. That's the commitment. So, but heck, I'm 12 years into this and I'm still googly-eyed, you know? Honestly, I am.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah. It's weird. People talk about like that first year marriage so hard, and I've seen and talked with people where that's very true. It's terrible. Their first year is just like no good. And then there's like, I don't know if it's like a wives' tale or what, but it's like the 7th year for whatever reason is like we didn't experience any of that.
It was like the 7-year slump or 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Our first year marriage, that was like the best year of my life. It was just so awesome. 7th year, probably the same. I don't remember any slump or anything like that. So again, I think that's why dating is important, to see, do I like this person? Do I love this person? I'm going to be with them the rest of my life. Do I like them? Can we enjoy each other?
But
that's
I think
really
that's a good
important.
point. Like, not only do you love them, but do you like them?
Yeah.
Because like you ought to want to like their activities, their personalities, their quirks, and all that. Otherwise, you can love someone but not really like them.
Yeah.
You know, just because, hey, I have to love you or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just this episode's kind of just like a little more like just like a quick flyover this whole dating thing, and we'll bring in some people and like just kind of talk more in depth into this at some point. I just figured we just kind of have just a fun little glance over with that. I want to end it if you guys have any pickup lines. I wrote down a few. I thought, I'm just like, this is fun for me. I don't know if you guys, is there anyone you like?
You're
you
the
like?
single guy, dude.
I know. I like to have I like to do stupid things. Have you ever used the pickup line, Josh, or do you like?
I've never used a pickup line. I know some because I think they're really funny.
Yeah.
It's like, if you were a apple, you'd be a fine apple. Or actually another Apple one. That's from 17 again. That was a funny one. She's like, if you were an apple, you'd be a delicious.
Oh, nice.
Then there's like the Olive Song of Solomon or Song of Songs. And
Yeah.
It's like, girl, your hair is like a flock of goats.
Stop! I wrote that down in here.
Running down the hills of
You know
Gilead.
what? All right.
Hold on, it's your hair seems like a flock of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. I'm like,
Beautiful.
ooh.
You know what did remind me of, though I think is really important? I think the biggest thing, especially from guys, when it comes to dating, the biggest thing is clarity. Like these pickup lines remind me of that. Like, it's funny, whatever. I could never, if I was a woman and I heard somebody say, I could never. But I think the guy should go up and be like, I want to take you on a date on Friday night at 8:30. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go have seafood. I think there should be extreme clarity because they need that. And we need it too. And so just to be clear in your communication and not like, hey, do you want to
hang out? Use the word date. Like I've been, that's gone not well for me before.
Do you want to
use the word date?
Do you want to get coffee? And they're like, yeah. And you go and they're like, I don't know what this is. And you've been getting coffee for a month and a half, and you think you're dating. Whatever. It's clarity.
That's often a problem. Clarity. Who's the guy from like Passion City Church? Like he did like a whole Songs of Solomon series. Do you remember? Like
Ben Stewart.
Is that his name? Okay. I remember he was talking like one of the points he made was like clarity is like really important. Like that's a gift. Like that's grace because like if you're unclear, you're just kind of like in this zone where it's like you will read a lot of statistics. Like a lot of girls are in this relationship that they think this guy likes them, but this guy just doesn't like them at all, like in that way. Like he's not committed to them, but
or the fact that there's actually a category on Facebook called "It's Complicated."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where that whole like situationship, it's complicating thing comes from because like they'll say some sweet words, but like you're going out getting coffee every week for months, and it's like where is this? Fair enough point. I still like my pickup lines.
Yeah, let's hear.
Then again, I'm also single, so like this is probably
maybe it's why you were single.
Stop it, John. I like this one. If I were to walk around you 7 times, would you fall for me?
Doubt it.
Or you got the "Here I am. What are your other 2 wishes?"
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that was another one. This one is a little bit more recent. I shared the story with you. I think this is funny. All right, so this is an actual pickup line I used, kind of like half worked, but whatever. I don't care. So I'm at a restaurant with my friend. We pick up the tab, we pay for it, and we're just sitting there talking. We still have like our pen, our receipt, and some paper towels there, whatever. And this other girl comes buzzing, removing some plates, and she was kind of cute. So I was like, okay. Let me just try out some little stupid pickup line. So I like call her over, like, hey, come here. I was like, do you like magic tricks? And she's like, yeah, I think they're pretty cool. It's like, all right, awesome. If you take this pen, write down your number on this paper towel, and I'll turn this into a date. I thought that was smooth.
That was smooth.
I did get her number, but it did not turn into a date.
Your magic sucks.
My magic sucks. But I was just like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I find it to be fun. I feel like if it's too serious, it's too boring. I don't know.
It should be fun.
I'm just trying.
It also takes a lot of confidence to do that.
Yeah, I guess. Just to mess around. So, anyways, thank you all guys for just kind of listening. We're just having like a little bit of fun, just talking about dating. It's been a pretty fun episode. We'll see you guys around next time. Take care.